Hey, how you doing? Hope you're going good. Happy New Year. Happy 2020. Wow, like 2019, it just flew by. It was so quick. It felt like, it just flew on by and 2020 was here. So, Happy New Year. So, I've written down some talking points just to make sure, I don't go too far off track. So, since yesterday, it's been a year since I chose to be called by my new name, Dion. It's been like a year, and I feel like wow. It's really grateful that most of the people that I know have respected my wishes to call me Dion. Unfortunately, my mum still calls me by my old name. She's still doing that, and I'm allowing her some time, to process, and she can come when she's ready. So now I'd like to talk about my transgender journey, my experience. So, in August, that was the last vlog that I created. I did create another vlog which was about parents, and that's a separate issue. So I'd really like to talk some more about my transgender experience in the last year, the challenges, the positive and negatives that I've experienced, and I just want to show you what I've been through. Experiences that I've had, with the counsellor, my relationship with my wife, and my advice, I guess, to the transgender community. Some of you might be considering how I'm going on, how I've been going for the last year. But, it hasn't been just a year. It's been 2 years. Like, the first year was really focused on counselling, helping me develop an understanding of myself and my confidence. And, the second year is the past year, 2019. That's when I started my testosterone shots. Experiencing a few challenges with my wife. I want to be clear, my wife and I are doing really well. I guess we've faced some challenges, of how things have changed. The things that I've been experiencing and developing, they've been, good and positive for me, but some of them have been challenging for my wife. And, we've been able to develop an understanding and a stronger bond from there. So I'm going to talk about a few of those things. I won't go into too much detail about these. There'll be other vlogs that I create. So in 2019, my journey, the experience I've had, has been a big year. In April this year, on the 11th, it'll be a year since I had my first testosterone shot. Time's flown. So, I'm on testosterone at the moment, and I have to remember the name of the testosterone. It's Riadrin. So it's a type of testosterone shot, and it's a shot you have every 3 months, and so as a result, it's a slow process. There's a few other testosterone shots you can have. Some are a 3-week shot, and there's another one which is a 3-month shot. It's a different chemical composition. It's called Testosterone, and that's a 3-month shot as well, but they're slightly different. Also, I'd like to talk about my experience of the past year being on testosterone, and how it's helped me develop my confidence, but it hasn't been without frustrations or barriers. So an example might be, I guess, for the first few weeks after my first shot, things were stable. I didn't feel like too much had changed, but I didn't realize, looking in the mirror, because I looked at myself in the mirror every day, I didn't see much change, but people were telling me that, changes were happening. Like, my jawline was becoming more defined, my face had changed, the way that my body sat, the shape of my body had changed a bit. So, that gave me like a little boost of confidence. And I'm going to show you a photo, pre-testosterone, and, a current photo. So take a look. So, wow, you can see, how much I've changed in those photos. And it's a big difference, it's been a year. So now I'd like to talk about my wife and I. We've faced a number of challenges through this transgender experience that I'm going through. And, what's happened, when we first started having conversations about testosterone, she was really concerned, about me becoming aggressive, moody, like the typical archetypal male. Or that, if we argued, I would lose interest, or I may, not be the same person that I am now. So she had some concerns, but it was really important for them in our relationship, and for me, that we, reassured each other that we, and not to say that there's nothing to worry about if we had a disagreement, but to just say, I hear your concern, you hear my concern, that we come to an agreement and understanding, and we're aware that, we have that perspective or position, and then we can move on together. So an example, my wife was worried that, I'd be mad, losing my temper like a teenage boy, like how teenagers just lose it. So, for the first few months, I, just easily flipped my lid. But when I did that, I didn't realize it had an impact on my wife. I could see that she was scared, and it made me think, oh, okay, it's not good. It gave me the awareness of, my behavior and how I react, and how, I needed to change the way that I reacted. So I realized that I had two choices. The first choice was to walk away, cool down, work out what I'm really trying to say. Or the second choice was, if I really wanted to just lose it, I had to just stand there, take a breath, try and express myself clearly, because my wife's first language is not Auslan. So, we made an agreement that we needed to express ourselves clearly. If there was any misunderstanding, I needed to be cool. And it didn't matter how many times I needed to repeat myself, that communication was number one, so important. So another example is sex. So people don't like talking about sex. They're uncomfortable about it. And, I think sex is a really healthy topic to talk about. No, so for me, sex, there's a lot to it. It's an intense topic. And, it's impacted me. So as a woman, I was able to be quite chill, keep my sex drive under control. And since, as teenage boys, they just get super excited and just lose their mind. And they get filled with excitement and energy. And, I realized how am I going to control that? I was like, whoa. So I posted a comment on a transgender group where it's a hearing group, and I was asking people if they had had similar experiences, and they'd said yes. They talked about different ways they dealt with it, how they got through it. Some of them had sex with, a number of different people to satisfy their sex drive, not like driving your car, but like a sex drive. It's, it just goes through the roof. It just, so for me, it was, for me, how to resolve that of my elevated sex drive was to please myself. So if you want to know more about that, you can message me privately and we can have a chat. And, a third example that comes to mind, which was, a big difference, was how my body changed. So my body changed, I noticed, with eating, God, I eat so much more. So women, hips are generally more rounder. And since the testosterone shots, it seems like my mass has moved up into my body, and my shoulders are growing broader. My hips, weight used to sit around my bum, and now it's moved up. So how the weight sits on my body is different. I was like, interesting. And my legs, they used to be quite thin, and they've bulked up. See? So they bulked up, and I was like, I thought, I'm getting a bit fat. And then looking around at other boys and men and seeing their legs and seeing how they were shaped, I realized, I was having a similar experience. So other changes to my body? Yeah, there were a few others. So my legs, they've started to grow a few hairs, and they've started to go dark brown. I'm starting to get some hairs on my arms, a bit of sort of light hair around my face, a bit hard to see, but I need to be patient. I was planning to go to the shop to buy this minoxidil. It's a thing for men who are balding. You can, promote the growth of hair on your face. And I thought, no, I just need to bide my time and just let it develop naturally. That's a goal of mine, to have facial hair. I've also noticed that my muscles have grown a bit, like just naturally. And hopefully this year I'll be able to get back to the gym and I'll be able to trim up a bit, just trim down a bit and grow a bit. I don't want to be a big, beefy dude. I just want to be nice and toned. So, and positive experiences, things that have given me confidence, and, that's been growing really well. There's some of the things, and just hearing from friends, like saying, hey, I can notice some changes on you, made me realize that, because I'm looking at myself in the mirror every day, I don't see those small changes, but friends who don't see me so often, they're like, and then what they've pointed out to me, I go back to the mirror and I'm like, yeah, they're right. I can see that. So, there's been some positive experiences and some negative experiences. My mum is still calling me by my old name, and I had to have arguments with some other people. So, they're confused about the term transgender and non-binary. It's two terms. And people have said, you're still a woman, and I still see you as a woman. And I've had to explain to them, it doesn't, I'm not always a woman. And they were like, but you're physically a woman. My response was, it's not about my physical appearance. It's about how I identify, how I feel comfortable. And if I've decided to label myself as non-binary and transgender, that's my decision. And people are like, well, why are you confusing that? You're still a woman. And it's not your decision. It's not your place to comment. It's not up to you. It's up to me how I choose to label myself, identify. And you can't tell me that I'm wrong. And that's your problem. That's your bad luck if you have a problem with that. And my problem, it's my body. And my mental health is so important to me. If you have a problem with that, well, that's just too bad. I can, just ignore you, or, if I have the energy, I can, explain to you. So ultimately I have those two choices. Okay. So to put that aside, my counselling experience I've had for the period of 2 years has given me so much confidence. That they've helped me to understand, my wife's perspectives, just about those male issues that I was talking about. How society constructs men, that, being aggressive, being, the tough man, or sometimes, how, those labels of men's brain. The counsellors really helped me to understand these things in my, the year or 2 years, and the year that I've had with testosterone shots. So working on this with my counsellor, it's helped me realise that my relationship, it's helped me improve my relationship with my wife. It's helped me understand, and my wife is sort of explaining things from her perspective, and working with my counsellor has given me clarity. And it may take me a while to process that until I gain that clarity. But once I do, it's great. And, there's obviously experiences that come up, and I'd really recommend a counselling service. They can help you understand different perspectives, understand yourself. And sometimes it can be quite scary looking in there, not liking what you see, but, understanding that you have to do better, and, creating positive experiences for yourself. I really recommend it. So overall, I'd just like to give my advice to the deaf transgender community that it's, really important to be yourself. Be yourself means that you decide what's best for you, for yourself, not for anyone else, just for you. So if, you think I can transition, I'm transgender, or however you choose to identify, you can say, I am, whatever that is, I am, and make that decision, feel comfortable with that decision, and understand that people don't make those decisions for you, and how you navigate that. You can see a counsellor, or you can be involved in some forums, some groups, whatever suits you, so you can feel comfortable with what you want to do. And that's my advice. So I guess in summary, Happy New Year. Happy 2020. And I'll make a few more vlogs to come in the future. And I hope you've enjoyed watching and hope you enjoy watching some more. And I'll see you in the next vlog. Cheers.